The walls look solid. I could definitely find a way to fix this one up and live here. I'm really glad I brought my sunscreen with me today. I honestly don't know much about this city at all. It's my first time really exploring it today, and hopefully I'll find out more. The only things I really know about it from just a quick Google search is they love balloons, and there are some famous television shows filmed here. But one thing I am noticing about this city is that it is just massive, and it is so spread out that you really do need a car to get around. There is a bus. It looks like it's taking people to downtown, but if you want to go anywhere else, you really need to be able to have your own set of wheels. Right behind me is the San Felipe Church here in the Old Town section of Albuquerque. This is the oldest church in the city, dating back to 1706, and hopefully I can go inside as soon as they open. But this is a fascinating little area right here where they have all these old style Adobe buildings. It's just so peaceful and quiet back here, but probably because the stores still aren't open for a little bit. But I have noticed a lot of other people around here with more professional cameras than me. I'm just using my iPhone, but they're taking some very nice pictures in the area, which I guess is one thing that you would use the space for, especially when it's this quiet and it's this early in the morning. I could definitely see this place getting a lot busier when everything's open, lots of tourists here. There is something culturally really significant hiding in plain sight right here in the city, and that is the most famous highway in the US. This is Route 66, which opened in 1926 and went from Chicago all the way down to LA. So it actually went through most of the Southwest. It runs right through the city. I'm looking right at it. It was eventually replaced by mega highways and interstates in the 1980s, but people still look at it really fondly because it brings back a sense of old-time Americana, think 1940s, 50s, and 60s, with small diners, little motels, old gas stations. So I found an honest-to-goodness 1950s style diner right here on Route 66 going through Albuquerque, and I'm going to go in and check it out. So these places are just full of nostalgia. That's why you come here to get kind of that 1950s vibe, and of course, some greasy food. One of my favorite part about visiting the Southwest is to see these traditional Adobe style houses and buildings. These actually go back thousands of years to the indigenous peoples who lived here, like the Pueblo. Way before the Europeans arrived, this is how they were building their homes, especially here in extreme climates where it's really, really hot during the day and very cold at night. Now these homes are quite plain. They're actually just very thick walls with a flat roof and then wood beaming for support. But they do just look so amazing with the landscape around, the deserts and the forests. So I'm just here today at the University of New Mexico checking out the campus. It's actually a work trip. It's not my first time in New Mexico. I have driven through lots of other times, but I haven't been in a while. And I really do love the natural beauty of the state, the mountains, the deserts, and the architecture, the Adobe, and just the fact that it's one of the most quirky places you can go in the entire US here in the Southwest. First thing I'm going to have to do though is find some shade and drink some water, because in the middle of the summer it is really hot here, and the last thing I need to do is to pass out from heat exhaustion. I've been seeing all these statues of wolves all over the campus, and I couldn't really quite figure out why. But then I learned that the mascot for the university is Lobo, which is Spanish for wolf. So now it makes perfect sense. So those over there are the Sandia Mountains. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is a rainbow right there, right now. I feel like that's got to be a good omen for my trip out here this time. This is a first for me. I'm checking out a balloon museum, which I'm terrified of heights, but I'm pretty curious about this one. Albuquerque has become notorious in the last couple years because of a lot of filming going on here. And one of the most famous shows that's been here for like 15 years now has been Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And the Doghouse is actually one of the restaurants that they eat at. You can actually drive around and see other locations in the city. But there's another restaurant that I think is way cooler. So right now I am at a local chain restaurant here in Albuquerque called Twister's. And this was actually used in the series Breaking Bad as Gus Fring, who was the head of the drug cartel. This was his restaurant where they made fried chicken called Los Pollos Hermanos. So we just finished eating our dinner at Twister's, and this old RV just pulled in, and I realized it's the Breaking Bad tour. So they are busing people over here in Walter White and Jesse's meth lab. So I spent the day over here on the outskirts of Albuquerque exploring the Sandia Mountains, and now I'm going to try to get to the top, but I'm certainly not going to hike because I'm not in that good a shape. But there is a tram right over here that I can take. So right now I'm just looking over the opposite side of the peak where I came up from. But that's also a breathtaking view. Thanks so much for joining me today as I explored the Sandia Mountains right on the edge of Albuquerque. This has been so much fun, and the views are just spectacular. You have to come up here and check it out. It doesn't take very long, and it doesn't cost too much. But anyway, stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Thanks for joining me today. Life's a journey meant to be shared. Remember to always travel with an open heart and an open mind. Enjoy the ride and keep your eyes on the horizon for the next adventure. I'll see you out there.